onto the labs. Um, so obviously I've done, just to show you what can be done, I did a lot of quick things. You'll learn how to do these over time. But if you can't figure out how to do something, just move on. There's no sense spinning your wheels. If you get help, and if you can't, there'll be times something just won't work. You can't figure it out. Your classmate can't. I can't. It's we just move on. There's 100 things to learn, and maybe we only learn 50 of them. But it's better than learning 10 of them because we spent all our time on things that we just can't fix. All right. So we're just going to do 5 parts. This looks like a lot. It's not. Each of these takes. I could do this in 10 minutes, but maybe you'll take an hour. It doesn't take that long. So the first part we already did. We downloaded the data. Now there's some advanced things. So if we go to the training manual, okay. So this training manual has tiered course objectives. We're only going to do the basic, and that's in green. Now, some of you are keeners. You might want to try the intermediate. Red, I don't even know how to do the red stuff. Just don't bother. All right, so keep that in mind. So I explicitly say in some parts, like skip these, you'll be sorry. There's some other ones I said skip. But basically we're just gonna go, our goalpost is we're gonna export a map image and we're gonna upload it into this blog. It'll be fun. Okay. So tiered course objectives. All right. So we're skipping down to just add your first layer. All right. Make sure everything's installed. Make sure you have the data. And notice this, the screenshots were taken in Qgis 2.0 running on a Mac OS. Now, notice we're using 2.18. So it's going to look a little different. But don't worry about that. You'll figure it out. All right, first we're going to prepare a map. We have a new blank map, and we're going to add a layer. And what we want to add is this. I'm going to try doing this really nifty thing here. We're looking for the roads.shp. Okay. So remember, layer, add vector layer. And this is, I have to remember where I put all this stuff, right? All right. EPSG4326. What's that? That's actually the projection of the data. Not a particularly useful thing to name it, but yeah. So I'm just going to add the roads. Okay, isn't that lovely? You can't even see it, right? Okay. Congratulations, you now have a basic map. Let's save it and call it basic map. Okay, so we're going to save and call it basic map. Now notice it's taking me somewhere because I had a file there open, so I got to navigate back to where I want to be. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, see how fast that was? Now we're going to check our results. Okay, that was a mistake. It has the answers, but sometimes the answers aren't useful. Okay. So what are we going to do next? We're going to do more stuff. That's what it says. Oops. So next. So now more basics. So layers are here. So the only layer I have is the roads layer. The toolbars up here. Lots of toolbars. If you go slowly, it will say what these are. That's open, save, print composer, pan the map. Lots of stuff. Look, I'm panning the map. Zoom in, zoom out. Boom. Boom, zoom out. Okay. There's a status bar. Oh, I'm sorry, map canvas. Oh, that's all this stuff. Status bar at the bottom. This is saying where my cursor is in the world. The scale. Here's the projection. This button stops the map from changing. Okay, maybe not. That's odd. It really has never done that before. Usually when you click this off, it doesn't, do anything different. Okay, there's an example. I turned it off, but it's still there. Okay, this is the projection. We'll talk more about this next week. All right, side toolbar. Oh, you can move any of these toolbars onto the side, or vice versa. If you'd rather have this one up here, you can play around with that. Okay, layers. So layers are different things on the map. It can be points, polygons, or lines. You can control the rendering order. In other words, which layer's on top. You can temporarily hide layers. All right, the browser panel. Well, oh, so this is the browser panel, and this is where all of your stuff is. I tend not to use this. But you can, just to show you, you can use this as your file manager. So let's get up to the class. All right. Training manual. All right. There we go. So now I've got it. So my folder's there. You can turn on and off toolbars. Okay. That's my dishwasher. Okay. Yeah, you can play around with this so that you know what these are. All right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Creating a map. What's your vector, Victor? Okay, we're going to go to the roads. We're going to click this fancy button. This is going to open the data behind the roads. So here's all the data. Isn't that lovely? It's got the name of the street. This is a city in South Africa, by the way. It's got the type of highway, or this type of street, type of road. All right. Now we're going to load more data. We're going to add the places, the water, the rivers, and the building. Places, water, river, building. add them all. Okay, isn't that cool? Now notice I accidentally added building twice, so let's remove the extra one. Boom. Okay. Now I always have the lines on top of polygons and the points on top of the lines and polygons. But we could like maybe move the road, river. Okay, what does it want us to do? We can check our work. And it says, yeah, well, I figured that out. Okay. Now loading vector data from a database. So we loaded these in from shapefiles. We can also load it from a database. Looks like we're going to do a SQLite by clicking this icon. Or spatial light. We need the land use one. Click new. Alright, we're connecting. So we gotta go to my fancy little folder again. There it is, land use, SQLite. Spatial light, I keep saying, well, they're about the same. And then we're gonna connect. Beautiful. And yep, get that. Now we're gonna find the land use layer and add it. So it's asking me what projection coordinate reference system I'm using. I'm gonna accept the defaults and cross my fingers. Okay, that was good. And I'm gonna save it. All right. And remember, I like to have the river above land use. Let's have the water above that too. The building should be on top of land use. Land use should be at the bottom. Oops. There. Now let's practice reordering. Oh, I just did that. Okay, good enough. Next. Symbols. We're going to change colors. We're going to get rid of the puke yellow. What does it want us to do? Wants us to switch puke yellow to gray. I don't have puke yellow, I have puke purple. We're doing that with what, land use? Okay. So no more puke purple, I'm double clicking. Go to general, no, style. Change the fill from puke purple to puke gray. See, easy. Water is already blue, so I'm going to leave it. Changing the symbol structure. So we're going to get rid of the lines on the land use. So the outline, we're just going to make the border transparent. Oh, actually, it wanted me to do no pen. My bad. Okay, so pen. Oh yeah, from solid line to no pen. Apply. Oops, let's zoom out. Sorry. Gonna zoom in a little. Okay. Now let's fix the water. So the river should be blue. Is that the right blue? Or do we want this blue? We want this thicker, right? It's probably too thick. Oh, that's not so bad. All right. The roads. I don't like this color. Let's give it a little fancier. And a better color. A little thicker. There. Okay. Scale-based visibility. Oh, it's blue. I'm going to skip it. That means that depending on where you're zooming in, you're going to see stuff. More about symbols. Okay. More stuff we can skip. Skip. Looking for the green. All right. So, yeah. I'm ready for the next bit. Now we're going to classify. And let's go back to the lab. So we did the add the layer, we created the basic map. Now we're doing classify. This should be on 4.1. We need the places layer. And we're going to decide to label something. Okay, so places. I don't see them. So we got to make this bigger. And okay, there's just a little dot, one little dot. Okay. So how are we going to label this? Go to properties, labels, label with the name. I got to get it a different. Not the most attractive, but I'm going to do the buffer. There we go. I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay, so 2 places. Okay, let's go to next. Using different labels. So now we're going to label the names of the land use. Okay, so we're going to go to view the toolbar. Toolbars. Make sure the label one is visible, and it is. I forget what it is, which one it looks like. Oh, this is it. ABC, okay. Click here. And we want places. Okay. And the names. Oops. Okay. So name 13 points. Oops. That's completely unattractive, but I don't think it should be 13 points. I think 3 was more than enough. All right. Here was the 13. Okay. 13 fine, yeah. Okay, lovely. Now if I zoom out the layer, then it's going to give me kind of what this looks like. All right. And you can change these options a little. And there's different ways to get the labels. And you can play around with those. Ad nauseum. Okay. And that's red, so we're skipping it. All right, what's next? Classification. Now the grand finale. So we're going to color code the map. We're going to do it by land use because that's kind of what we have. So I'm double clicking, properties come up, and we're supposed to go to the style tab. We're there. Change from single symbol to categorized. And we want to categorize the column land use. And the color ramp greens. And click classify. Now notice this one is no labels, so we're just going to leave it off. And we can change those individually. So notice the empty category, I kind of figured that out. So you can leave that off. Uh-oh. So now we're going to go back to the building column, do building. We do spectral. We want the name. No, the building column. Oops. Zoom to layer. So I'm going to hide some of this so we can see the building layer a little clearer. So let's try this again. Categorized building, spectral colors. There we go. Now I have no idea what a yes is, so I'm going to leave it off. Alright. And these are kind of obnoxious, but I would capitalize them correctly, but just leave them as is for now. Now notice when I did that, I put the legend right there. Okay. Notice that the buildings don't change that much. All right. So now we're into the blue territory. Now the red. I think that's it. Okay. So now how do we create this as a map? We have to do this thing called the map composer. So we're going to create a map composer. So project, new print composer. Okay, fine. It's the print composer. Okay, so composer manager. We need to add and we're supposed to give it the name of swelling them. Alright. So it gave me a new view. So make sure that it's set such and such a way. 2010 by 297, landscape, 300 dpi. Oops. Not good enough. Now we're going to add a new map to it. Oh, there it is. Add a new map. Clicked on it. It says drag a box on the blank page. Lovely. So notice that it just gave me what was in here. So I'm going to make sure I'm zoomed in up to what I want in the map. So if we can just do, okay, lovely. All right, there we go. And we can move it by dragging it around. Oops. Okay. Can change the size a little bit. All right. We can add stuff to this. Okay. So there's some buttons. These zoom the page, but not the map. So what does that mean? Yeah, it means it's zooming my canvas, but it's not changing how the map looks there. But if I do this, then I can move what's on the map. And that was from this side. And this is when we can zoom on the map, like if I just want to look at this bottom part. See? All right. Add a title. Okay, that was obnoxious. All right. We should be able to align the center that's under. Okay, so click on the map, hold shift. All right, I'm not going to get into that. Let's add a legend. So select the label by clicking on it. Go to item properties. There it is. Okay. So we can change the font. Let's just pick one. You can add frames. Okay. Now we got to add a legend. It's kind of a mess, but all right. And you'll be able to move that around. You can also customize the legend heading. So you item property, legend items. Legend, yeah. Select the buildings. You just get rid of that. Okay. Now we're going to export this, even though it's kind of ugly. All we have to do is export. Let's export as a PDF. There it is. Open it. Okay, so now it's a PDF, and I can export in the other formats. So you can do another one if you want. That's all the next one is. So let's see, a student already did it, and this is her map. That's pretty much it for the first week. All right, that's all she wrote. See you next week.